Okay, Rilye Dyche, right in, folks. Rilye Dyche out of Fairbanks, Alaska, just in. Team number 4 to Trapper Creek checkpoint. Day 2, Willow 300, 2022. There's Rilye. There's his dog team right between Nic Petit and Will Rhodes. And there's Jeff King just in. So thanks for joining us. You're right back here at checkpoint number 3 with Rilye Dyche just in. I mean, just in. Right there. His handler's up with the lead dogs. They're going to need to hook the lead dogs down. This is the bouncing girl. She likes to bounce. That's the bouncy girl. We got her in some video. If you go back a couple days, folks, you'll see that pink-collared dog is a very athletic, very spirited leader. There's Rilye taking off his parka, talking to Jeff. Again, share the feed. Let us know where you're from. And this will be on YouTube at some point. So be a long-term archive here. 4 teams into Trapper Creek now, folks. There's Rilye Dyche right there. And Husky Homestead, Jeff King right there. So Jeff working with the vets on a couple dogs. And Rilye just getting in, just literally hooking down. Not even fully hooked down. Remember, 3 hooks to be down. 2 in the back, 1 in the front. So his sled will have 2 hooks, and he'll bring one out to the lead dogs. In fact, here's a good example. That's 1 hook on the lead. The lead of the line is here. The tail of the line is way back there. And there's a second one up here. So this team right here, the Mackies, they have 2 hooks just for their leads, and that's part of their strategy for leaving as well. But so there's 4 snow hooks down on these teams, 3 to 4 snow hooks. Really important here at the checkpoints. The dogs look a little chill right now, but if there was a moose that popped out of the woods behind me or something, they would be going. So never take anything for granted when you're dog mushing or working with dogs. Doesn't even matter if you're just doing 1 dog cantercross or ski journey. You have to keep an eye out. Everything has to be pointed at being aware of what's coming at you and what's happening down the trail. You got to anticipate everything and make sure that dog has a great experience. Dogs will always feel like champions if they have a successful experience. And a lot of that comes from you being hyper aware, paying attention, making sure you avoid pitfalls of. You got to be able to see when there's a moose that's going to have an encounter. You got to be able to anticipate when there's issues. And that keeps the dogs feeling successful. You can learn a lot from a lot of the experienced mushers. Some have gone online more these days. Dallas Seavey does a lot of educational, insightful podcasts. He'll explain his race and culture building theory. There's that hook we've been talking about. Rilye and his lead. Good, brother. Good to have you in. Yeah, get up here, you little. I got a great long shot of your lead dogs bouncing all over the place. Yeah, the other day. Here you go. Rilye makes a trip down from Fairbanks. One of the most impressive young men I know at this. Love of dogs, deep in it. For him, there's... Okay, you're right back here. Dogs are chatting it up here. We got dogs from Will's team. That's Will's team. These 2 are chatting it up because we have a new team in, right? Riley's team. And then Nic's team. Nic's in the Vitus gasoline station cafe right now, just chilling out. I saw him a minute ago. Through the window in there, doing his first place thing, letting the dogs rest. They all have blankets here. So Brenda has been able to get all the dogs blankets. So they each not just have coats and straw. And now that dog right there is just like, you know what, you guys, shut the hell up. Heck up, sorry. Shut the heck up. This is family friendly here, folks. We keep it clean, but that's what that dog was thinking. I had to translate it into human. He meant to say heck, but at first he said, yeah, we'll avoid that word there. Family friendly here, folks. Turn it up for your kids. They can learn all about dogs. Dogs are chatting it up right now. Top 4 teams into Trapper Creek. Quite a big gap now. Hunter is doing great, but he's a ways back. So this is really if you're into the whole speed thing of it and all that, and that's your obsession, then this is your top pack right here. If you're into how individual mushers are doing and their careers and learning and growing and all that, then that's all to come, because all those bales of straw, eventually we'll have a team at them, and less teams scratch on the way here. So lots more room for folks to come in and do the checkpoint dance. It's a whole rhythm. It involves a lot of gear, a lot of stuff. Here's the Mackey, Will Rhodes, Brenda Mackey pile of stuff. You got your blankets, your bowls, right? Everything's snacks. Yeah, but I was kind of going off last night on how well organized your stuff was, Brenda. Because it was all tucked in your sled. It was all fancy and it just looked pro. And I was like, that's good. Folks at home should get a good visual on what looks right. So this looks right because you have everything represented. You have snacks. First of all, you have a chair. That's important. You got snacks. You got buckets and a cooker. They're using that as a table. As my friend is saying, nobody's sitting down on the job here. But then you have your big pile of blankets, so they'll go on here soon. You have your fresh booties ready to go. You have that bag with all your little stuff in it. Look at all those different bowls. Maybe some extra water to keep the musher hydrated. A sled to move it all. A rake to clean up the straw, because it's part of your obligation as the handler, reporting to the musher who reports to the race marshal. You will keep a clean camp, and you will backhaul, rake up, and haul out your straw. Yes, the straw is only used for the 3 to 4 hours the dogs are here. It's critical that they have it. It will be then piled up and burned because it has been used. Here comes a bale right now. Riley's humping his around. And they're chatting it up there. Really grateful for the connectivity that we have out here. We're about 2.5 hours north of Anchorage. We're north of Talkeetna. We're in Trapper Creek. Always had like one of those names that makes you really feel like kind of yesteryear, gold rush era. But it's the town north of Talkeetna, that's north of Willow, that's north of Wasilla, that's north of Anchorage. So that's your progression from the airport. If you were to come in someday to the Great Land, you'd land in Anchorage and you'd start driving about 2.25 hours up here. Beautiful country. Flat light today, you can see. Clouds moved in, temperature warmed up. I was just in my truck. It was about 10 degrees. Feels colder because it's 1,000% humidity, as is typical of this Susitna and Upper Susitna River area, and actually anywhere around here in the valley. There's some extra straw being tucked back here. Riley's got a big bale right there. We got the families rolling in now, folks, and now that it's about 1 o'clock, 1:15, so civilians are showing up here to see the dogs. Got the photographers, some Anchorage Daily News, ADN. Check them out. There's a lot of different ways you can show mushers that you're a fan. If you like a particular team or fall in love with a particular dog, like who wouldn't fall in love with these two right here? I mean, look at these guys. Are you kidding me? Who wouldn't fall in love with those little sweeties? And if you were to, you would just go to the Mushers page. Generally, they all have Instagram and Facebook, the top kennels. And they're becoming better storytellers all the time. Super impressive to see the growth and storytelling amongst dog mushers. And then you can learn how to support one of these dogs and their expenses over a given month. It's called sponsorship. It's a common way to take a lot of stress off of a musher who has the obligation of all the animal care, the training, the loving, the housing, the support, and then generally about $1,000 a year in dog food. So start doing that math. Let's say you're Riley and you're a young adult with 30 dogs. That's potentially 30 grand a year you got to come up with, in addition to housing and everything else. Trucks, trailers. So it's a good way to support a dog team, and then you get a lasting relationship for your family and friends, kids, church group, whatever you represent back home, and they can follow a dog's journey. So most competitive kennels have that program. We certainly do at the Alaska Dog Center, and it's super fun to see. I know Wade Mars was just down at the Bear Grease. He used to live right here, and he's running Bear Grease because they moved down, he and Sophie, moved down to the lower 48, and so he had a nice photo on social media of a family that's been sponsoring one of his lead dogs, Jet, for years, and they finally got to meet. And that was a really cool photo. These dogs are really impressive in so many ways, so it's neat to see that relationship. It's a way you can contribute, and I assure you it takes a lot of stress off. It's a stressful life up here when it's minus 30 and everything's freezing, and you know, the clock's ticking on bills. You can really help out. So that's just a little PSA on behalf of all mushers everywhere. They're usually right at their head level, and your support means a lot. So a little bit from everybody means a lot. All right, here we go. Husky Homestead on the bowl feeding party. Look at that. Jeff's got 2 handlers crushing it in tandem here. Again, the experienced, seasoned mushers have different sets of rules in terms of checkpoint life. Checkpoint life is not strict for them. They can have help. And then the qualifiers, those who are truly the rookies coming up the ranks. All right, you're right back here, live and up at Trapper Creek here. Remote, beautiful Alaska. Feels like a Sunday, but it's a Tuesday. In fact, it could be any day right now. It's a mushing day. And in the mushing life, it's all about the dogs. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Sunday or a Tuesday as it is right now. It's about the dogs. Look at that, Team Mackey right there that's Will Rhodes. Okay, there we go. I just got the pro tip. If you move towards the Vitus building, right?
Correct.
And you're hosting the checkpoint?
Yes.
And thank you. I know everybody at home is knowing that right now Nic's up there having a delicious something, right?
He's already
Yep, he's... Okay, is there a little napping area?
Yes, there is.
And how many years have you been doing this?
We took over the trading post here about 3 years ago. So...
And thank you.
So we've been doing it since then.
Okay, so there you go, a broad view of the Trapper Creek checkpoint, backing a little bit closer to the building here. Our host, Vitus gas station here, has a big old banner. So if you're driving up the Parks Highway and you're heading north, this will be a checkpoint again tomorrow. So pop on into Vitus, check them out. Okay, I'm still backing up here, working on getting you the wide shot. There you go. There's your top 4, Trapper Creek, day 2. Petit, Dyche, Rhodes, the order 1, 2, 3, 4 of how they're laid out. How they came in, Petit, Rhodes, King, Dyche. So there's your top 4 teams right here at Trapper Creek with some bystanders, keeping a beautiful eye on everything. Race officials, vets, the colorful checkpoint life. Right now you got Jeff King talking to his handler, Rilye chatting. I think Will Rhodes and Nic Petit are inside the... Okay. One last view there. I'll go ahead and do this. I'm going to show you the trail. That's the trail you'd hike down if you came from the highway, folks. You'd hike down a little trail right here, and you'd be able to turn the camera around and you'd be able to see right behind your shoulder all the teams. So that's how nice this checkpoint is. That's how big it is. We're super grateful for Trapper Creek being a part of it. It'll be a while before Hunter comes in, so we'll go ahead and let these guys do their routine, go up and support the checkpoint, and we'll work on eventually getting this over to YouTube. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you soon. Appreciate the support.